Okay, everyone. So we're going to learn Netivot Shalom על Torah, and we're going to dedicate the shiur to all the hostage, all the שבויים that will return home safely with בריאות הנפש וגבורת הגוף, השם יוציאם מאפלה לאורה, משביה לחירות, and all to the success of all the soldiers, the law enforcement in Israel, the Yamam, the Shabak, the Mossad, especially חטיבה 401, which was my chativa many years ago, and for the success of all the Jews all over the world. Baruch Hashem.
Did they call you up?
So, Ita b'midrash, it says, Va'elokim nisa et Avraham, right? So the title is, Natata lirecha nes litnoses. We talk about Parashat Vayera. Toward the end of the parasha, according to Netivot Shalom, it says in the Midrash Bereshit Rabbah that Hashem tried Avraham. And Rabbi Yosei HaGelili, he said, גידלו כנס הזה של ספינה, שהוא גבוה מאוד ונראה למרחוק. So, נס in Hebrew is a miracle. נס is like a pole that you can hang a flag. And נס is also something that you elevating, you bring it up. So, Rabbi Yosei HaGelili said that Hashem tried, have nisyonot to Avraham, like that high pole that goes and everybody can see it from distance, right? I think it's called in English for a sailboat a mast. I don't know how you spell it, but when you have all the sails on it, right? The mast is the long pole.
M-A-S-T.
Yeah. Viera.
Yes.
The heading, says, how do you type that?
Yeah, because
how do you explain that word, that sentence?
You gave your the people who or you from or, yeah, you gave them a flag, to wave a flag. Of course, it's not the literal translation. The literal translation is like you gave your people that fear you, that awe you, you give them like a flag. But basically, it's that on a spiritual level, all the nisyonot, all what Hashem is facilitating and putting us through, this is like a flag that eventually that we will wave it like a flag, and that will be like our billboard, like a flashing billboard, like woohoo. So he says here, and he brings out exactly like he says here. He says here, "Natata lirecha nes litnoses." So nisayon acher, nisayon achar nisayon. So Hashem was testing Abraham with one test after another and after another, and each one. And we said that before. Life is like a video game. You finish phase one, you have the second phase, but it's difficult for the first one, and the third one will be much difficult, and difficult more and more and more and more and more until we die. So he said here, so Abraham was tested by Hashem with many tests, right? Basically, we know about the 10 ones that he had in order to test him, in order to grow him, to make him higher, like that pole or the mast of the ship. Because basically, after we achieving something, right? Let's say the small ones. Let's say that we're deciding to take a walk for 10 minutes. So something suddenly happened, or suddenly we would like to learn Torah. Suddenly we said, oh, no, it's much better to learn Torah. But for our body, it's better to walk. So after we put that aside, that the nisayon of, let's say, of something else or a phone call or something, and we walk the 10, 15 minutes, you're going back, you feel really high, physically and spiritually. So that's like a flag that is on the pole and at the top of the pole. And that was the nisyonot for Abraham. By a Jew overcoming the nisayon, then he's getting stronger and he's growing in spiritualism. And these tests are elevating us to a higher level that we cannot achieve without this nisyonot. As it says in the book Emunah Bitachon, which is related to Rabban, and this is how he says, "Ve'al tachshov ki malato shel Avraham avinu הייתה גדולה כל כך לפני המקום." Don't think that Abraham, like he had an advantage, big advantage in front of Hashem, because he fulfilled the entire Torah. So he says it's impossible. שלא היה מי שקיים כל התורה בחלקו. For sure there was someone that was keeping the Torah in all the generations. So he said שכבר היו בהם שמתו ביתו של אחד, because some of them already died because of the sin of the snake. They didn't do anything wrong, right? Like Ishai, the father of David, he had no sins, but eventually his flesh and blood, they need to die. So he died because of the sin of the snake, nothing to do with him. He didn't do anything wrong. So there are from people like this. But, so what's the story with Avram? But Hashem really, Avram was his favorite because he passed the 10 nisyonot. And then they say specifically, he was passing all of them to announce, to show Hashem loved him. Yes. Yeah, Harvey.
Your voice is breaking up.
My voice?
No,
What?
It's
My
your
voice?
Computer. It's your computer.
Okay.
Clear.
Okay.
Oh,
Is it better now?
it's clear.
Lee, can you hear me?
I hear you clear. Do you hear me clear?
Yeah. Mordechai, you're breaking out. I don't know if something with your reception maybe.
Okay, let me go off. I'll come back.
Stop the video. Mordechai, stop the video. It should be better. Stop the video. Click on the camera icon. Oh, good. Is it better now? You can hear me better?
Call back in.
I think he, yeah, he's going to log in again. I hope he didn't lose internet. Okay, let's, oh, he's logging back. So Hashem liked Avraham because he passed all the 10 nisyonot. And he said, even though there are few that like, you know, they fulfill everything, the Torah and everything, and they die because of the sin of the snake, but the level of Avraham Avinu was higher than that because he passing all the tests. Maybe there are other people, you know, Hashem didn't test them in such a level like Avraham Avinu. And therefore he get the gadlut. And also we found with Yosef HaTzadik, righteous Joseph, that he gained all of this level, right, divine level, by passing all the tests that we know, as we all know, you know, with the wife of Potiphar, being in jail, being sold as a slave, etc. So he said, so the same way, each and every Jew, all our life is pavement with nisyonot, with test. And the explanation, it's according to what it says in the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh, in the Nisayon. So he said, at the time of a Nisayon, when Hashem is testing us, then suddenly what's happening? All our levels are gone. And we are like metaphorically alone now. And our brain is getting shrinked. And when it says, V'chtiva Elokim nisa et Avram, so Elokim is a name of strength, dinim, and tzimtzum, right? Tzimtzum, it's like something that have very clear boundaries, and it's a small thing. Not that Chas v'Chalil Hashem is small, but our wisdom, our brain suddenly will get shrinked a little bit. Because at the time of the Nisayon, It says, Avraham Avinu בקטנות המוחין, like you cannot concentrate. You know, when you are busy with something or something is shocking, because the nisayon is a shock, basically, then you're not concentrated, you're not on a place, it's difficult for you to think about what to do. That's katnut hamochin, like the wisdom became smaller. So he needs to overcome that. And that's why Hashem liked him so much, because even in the time when you feel katnut little, he still stand up, he didn't break. And as our sage says, any love that is depending on a reason or something, that reason is gone, then the love is gone. And every love that is not depending on a condition or on a reason, that will never stop. The love will always continue. What does it mean? That love that is depending on having a condition in the person mood, then when he's feeling good, then he love Hashem. When he doesn't feel good, then he doesn't love Hashem. But Avraham Avinu was loving Hashem constantly, because it was not depending on anything, not depending if Hashem provide Avraham Avinu food, or maybe he didn't provide food, like in Eretz Israel, and now Avraham needs to leave everything, right? After Hashem promised him that leave your country, your homeland, and your father's house, I'm going to provide you, I'm going to make you rich, you're going to the land of Israel, right? And he told him later. So Avraham Avinu arrived to the land of Israel, and then what? Everybody was mocking him, because Avraham Avinu was mekar of them and say, there is Hashem in the world, and he's providing, he will make me rich. And suddenly there's no food, and Avraham remained poor. What's going on, right? So maybe a different person will say, you know what, I'm going with the idols. Why I need Hashem? Hashem promised me something, nothing happened. On the contrary, everybody hates me now because of me. Until I arrived there, they had food. After I arrived, they're all starving. So, but Avraham didn't give up. He was not breaking. He was to continue. Okay, fine, I need to go to Egypt. I'll go to Egypt. And this is what Hashem is showing us, that Hashem loved Avraham because of that. והנה היית במדרש בראשית רבה, מי יעלה בהר השם? Who will climb the mountain of Hashem? This is Avraham Avinu. And it says, קח נא את בנך, right? ועלהו שם לעולה, bring it to the one of the mountain that I will show you, which is basically הר המוריה, right? So מי יעלה בהר השם? Who will climb up to the mountain of Hashem? That's Avraham Avinu. ומי יקום במקום קודשו? And he will be rise in the place of his holiness. Again, it's Avraham Avinu. וישכם אברהם בבוקר, wake up very early in the morning, right? וישכם אברהם בבוקר על המקום אשר עמד שם, right? את פני השם, the face of Hashem, metaphorically. כי הנה, why? Well, what's going on here? האדם הרוצה לו, a person wants to climb up to the mountain of Hashem. So there are, ישנם עניינים המעכבים בדו. He has something that is trying to hold him up, preventing him. It's called meniot, right? החומר, right? וכן ענייני הפגמים, right? So maybe it is a work that he needs to do, the gashmiut that is looking for, blemishes, right? Spiritual blemishes, they're pulling the person down, and they're not letting him to climb up to the mountain of Hashem. Basically, it's a spiritual growth. So whatever is pulling us down doesn't let us to grow spiritually. And therefore, the kol sheken, then if he doesn't have the ability to climb, then of course he could not rise in the place of the holy place, because from this matter that he have, the desires, whatever, then he's always falling back. So who can climb? Avraham Avinu, because all the nisyonot that he had made him stronger. Like it's going to a spiritual gym. By doing that, he was mezakech hachomer, he was like refining, purifying his gashmiut, the chomer, the materialism, and he made him stronger in spiritually. And that's why he was able to take his son and climb to the mountain and almost slaughter him, although it was against all logic and especially against what Hashem told him before. And this is the whole Torah that we need to learn, that in order for us to get into a perfection, or at least be on the right path, we need to go through some nisyonot, from tests, to refine the chomer, to refine us. As it says in Avraham Avinu, "Italech lefanai ve'etamim," walk in front of me and be complete, be perfect. So what does it mean perfect? Which it sounds in Hebrew, tamim, some people get by mistake, like tamim is to be naive or simple, but no. Tamim means perfect. How you get there? How can you get to a level like a tzaddik tamim, like a righteous, like a complete righteous? By the nisyonot. And we always need to remember that these nisyonot are coming constantly, and it's not like one day we say, you know, okay, we are done. Because if we will say that and we are really done, then we finish our tikkun in this world. So as long as we are nisyonot, you know, we're still here in this world, we know that we didn't finish it. And he said, and all the nisyonot that are written and taught us, it's a teaching for us. That if we would like to get into certain level in Avodat Hashem, then we have to go through this test. Sometimes we fail and sometimes we pass. But as long as we are in the right path, that's what's important. And he says that the zikuch, the refining or purifying, it's including also the purifying of the midot. Right? So midot is part of the desires, gaiva, honor, kavod, right? All of these midot, anger, avat Israel, right? So it says, and also we can purify this midot by the nisyonot. That when we are in the katnut mochin, when we don't have much concentration and our brain is shrinking, we are reaching actually to the purifying of the midot. As our sage says in Masechet Avot, right? It says, Talmidav shel Aviv, who are the Talmidim, the student of Avraham Avinu, the one that walk in his path. What do they have? Yesh baim ayin tova, a good eye, ruach nemucha, humble spirit, and a humility soul. He didn't count, he didn't she'eino moneh kan et tzidkatam od again. Doesn't say about, oh, they were righteous, they were keeping Torah mitzvot. So no, of course these are important, but the most important is a good eye, being humble, all the things that are really difficult to be. These are the ones that are important. And he said, these are the Talmidim of Avraham Avinu. But he says, because purifying the midot that they had, a good eye and a low and humility soul, like the main thing that between Adam and Chavero, and Ben Adam Latzmo, right? We know, for example, that Yom Kippur, if we survive Yom Kippur, then it means that Hashem forgive us. And we know that Hashem forgive us, but He forgive us for all the issues between us and Him. But between us and our friends, this is a different story. So he said, this type of good eye, humble spirit, etc., which is the midot actually that are more effective or more have influence between Adam lechavero. That's the main thing. And by having that, how you can have that? By the nisyonot. And this is what I said just says, Sefer hayashar, right? So the Bereshit book, you have another name. It's called Sefer hayashar, the book of the straits. So the Gemara asks, what does it mean, Sefer hayashar, the book of the straits? Right? So he said, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Shu Sefer Bereshit. It's the book of Bereshit, the book of Avraham and Yitzchak and Yaakov, because they were called Yesharim, straits. Right? Seichel, brain, is straight, clear mind. Commandait, as it says, Shamar Bilam, Tamot Nafshi, Mot Yesharim, like Bilam didn't want to die like a righteous person, but like the Yesharim. Because Yashar, it's more than being a righteous, it's even higher than that, because it means that you purify your midot. And the one that actually got to that level, he called the Yashar. As it says, Vasita Yashar Vatov B'nei Hashem. You did the right thing in front of in the eyes of Hashem. And therefore, our Avot, our forefather, the holy forefather, called Yesharim, because they refined the midot. So beside the tzidkut and the level that they had, the spiritual level, they achieved the level of Yashar. I'm going to finish here soon. And according to that, Yevoar, it will be explained the special level of Avraham Avinu that he achieved to that level by these 10 nisyonot, and he passed them all. כי הנה אברהם אבינו נקרא אברהם אבי, השם called him Avraham my beloved, as the Rambam wrote in הלכות תשובה, שהשיג דרגת אהבה הראויה שעניינה שאוהב את השם אהבה גדולה. So he achieved like such a higher level in loving Hashem that he was like really connected to Hashem constantly. And he was like loving Hashem like a first love to a woman. And he says, חולה חולי אהבה, like he's sick love. והוא ששלמה אמר, right, כי חולת אהבה אני, right, which he says לשלמה המלך, it's like an analogy. People make mistake, think that right, the Shira Shirim is between a man and a woman. No, it's between a man and Hashem, but using metaphoric, right? But it looks like we need to explain where there were nisyonot of Abraham and why they were so great, because in that level of love, if he had such kind of a level of love to Hashem, then all the nisyonot were like a simple thing. If you love somebody so much, then you overlook what he's doing to you. But he said, no. But in the time of the nisayot, they're taking from us all our level. And our brain and ability to concentrate are getting really, really tiny and shrinking. All you're left with, now we see if you really love Hashem or not. Then it will be tested. If that level of love is depending on something, when everything going smoothly and we're good and we have a butterfly flying and we see the rainbow and we have, sweets and candies. But when we don't have all of these things, then you can see if you really love Hashem or not. And he said, and we can say furthermore, that the nisyonot, they are the ones that change Avraham Avinu nature and purify his midot to love Hashem even more. And with that, we will explain why we found only with Avraham Avinu these nisyonot. Mishe'en ken shar avot Yitzchak and Yaakov, right? It doesn't mention that they're nisyonot. Yeah, we had the story and everything, but the Torah doesn't emphasize that. Why? Because so in the beginning, our forefathers were idol worshiper. So Avraham Avinu was born into a situation that is opposite from loving Hashem. He's supposed to love idols. So he need to actually turn his nature because he was born into it. And you can see, for example, babies that are growing up to a family or to a society that all they do is killing other people. And they're teaching them from age 0. And in the kindergarten, in the summer camp, all they do is learning how to use gun and how to shoot people and how to kill animal and how to slaughter cats and how to bite snake while they're still alive and drinking the blood. What do you expect that baby to grow up as a teenager and later on as an adult? A murderer. So just think about that baby someday when he become, instead of a murderer, he's starting to think about people in humanity and have mercy, not for his own people, for other people. Wow, that's such a great change. And this is what happened to Avraham Avinu, because he was educated, he was born to idol worshiper. So he should continue. No, he changed his nature. But Yitzchak and Yaakov, they were already born into a house, right? That's the big difference between FFBs and Baalei Tshuva. So the FFBs that were born to Baalei Tshuva house, they born already into the Kedusha. So that's why Yitzchak and Yaakov, they didn't have this test that Avraham had, because Avraham needed really to change his nature, and they were actually educated in the proper education. They didn't need to change their nature, and this is really difficult. And these are the reason why we have all of these parshiot that teaching us that in order for us to climb on the spiritual mountain of Hashem and to rise in the place of the Kedusha, we have to go through the nisyonot, unfortunately. And truly, that all our life, kol chayav shel ish Yehudi em sharsheret, it's like one chain with all the links are pavement with nisyonot that testing us if we're loving Hashem or not. And refining us, so that will be a love that will come naturally, that it doesn't depend on a reason. And it will exist even in time of darkness, and even in time when everything is good. And this is the purpose of us, to go into that perfection. יתהלך לפניו ואת תמים. So the Torah doesn't say that you have to keep all the 630 mitzvot in order to be perfect in avodat Hashem. No, you have to be perfect in loving Hashem. Rest will come naturally. And I want to tell you that I think we've all been into that nisayon. We had a big nisayon. All the Jews all over the world, whether if you're frum, you're not frum, etc., in that morning of Shabbat, when he started to hear the news about the massacre and everything, I don't know which type of thought you have in the head, but I remember because it was a chag, and I was crying and saying the Hallel, and in the Hallel he says, Ze hayom asa Hashem nagila v'nismecha bo. This is the day Hashem made. We have to be happy and joyful. And I think about all the hundreds of people that got killed, murdered, and everything. How can you be happy that day? But it says that the day, every day Hashem is making that day. Ze hayom asa Hashem nagila v'nismecha bo. And we say in Sefer Dvarim, right? We learn that Hashem Chas v'chalila will punish someone if he didn't worship Hashem be'ava u'betuv levav, from besimcha u'betuv levav. How can you do that? Because we are not normal. Because we can suffer, we can be sad at the same time to be happy because Hashem is there, and that was a big nisayon for all of us, and it's still continuing. Maybe we didn't pay attention, but it is a nisayon. So if we're sticking to Hashem, this is what He's looking for. And it says in the Torah clearly, Hashem is testing you to see if you will remain with Hashem or not. So Bezrat Hashem, we hope that Hashem will bring only sweet things from now on, and not a difficult nisayon. I wish the nisayon will be too many candies to eat. This is what we should have. So Bezrat Hashem, everybody will come back home safely, and the Brut Nefeshvat Aguf and all the soldiers will succeed. And we'll see big miracles, and I hope that the Geula Shlema will come really quickly, and that we will have new real estate opportunities with very cheap price in the place that used to be called Gaza. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.